Hey everyone, welcome to the Immigrants Bridge live FB show. Thank you for tuning in for another day with us. Let's wait to see who comes on tonight and what questions we can answer. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my computer in order to read the questions and comments that are coming in. So thank you again for joining us for Immigrants Bridge Live. We're going to get started in a few minutes. I'm just looking down at my computer to see what questions and comments are coming in so that I can make sure that I get to everyone's questions. So hang on while we get some more visitors. Thank you for stopping by. So I'm also logging in from my computer as well. You will notice that I am in a different space. So this week when I started off the live shows, I was doing it from my family room. But when I do it from my family room, my family gets in the way. So sometimes people are cooking, walking around, making noise. So I decided to take it to my girl cave. So what you're seeing is Attorney Bennett's girl cave right in my house. This is where I have my quiet time and my private time. So really happy to see everyone tonight. And if you're joining in, please start posting your questions and we will go ahead and I'll answer your questions. So let me see here. Oh, Miss Patricia is saying hi. I see some of our team members on. Miss Yessie, Attorney Shelley. Thanks for logging in, guys. Remember, if you are logged in right now, go ahead and share the live video on your pages so that we'll get more people to join in. We've been getting a pretty good response. Bienvenidos a toda la gente a ese show. Estoy muy alegre que usted está conmigo. Vamos a comenzar pronto. Si tiene preguntas ahora, puede poner sus preguntas en el comment box. Si estoy buscando así, es porque estoy leyendo los comentarios de mi computadora, ¿ok? So, hola everyone. Hey Andres. Thanks for joining in. Hola Laura. Hola Marisol. Oh, we have our first question, I think. Great. So let me go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us. Every day I always forget to introduce myself. My name is Attorney Bridget Bennett. I am the CEO and founding attorney at the Bennett Law Center. We are located in two places, in Groveland, Florida, and on Conroy Road in Orlando. We have a team of 17 people, attorneys, paralegals, administrative and finance staff working hard for you. If you are interested in talking to me in a consultation, we are still working. Our office is still open. We are just working from home, as are many of you. So if you ever want a consultation with me, please go ahead and drop your name below, and we will have a team member call you to set up a consultation. We're doing consultations via Zoom, via WhatsApp. So, you know, we just got to do what we have to do. Estoy diciendo que soy la abogada del Bennett Law Center. Tenemos un equipo de 17 personas, otros abogados, 3 otros abogados, paralegales y mi equipo en el departamento de administración. Estamos aquí disponible a ayudar. La oficina todavía está abierta, so si usted necesita ayuda o quiere una consulta privado conmigo, la oficina está abierta. Puede darnos, díganos si usted quiere comenzar una consultación conmigo. El número de la oficina es 352-557-8989 y estamos disponibles para hacer una cita. Okay, primer pregunta. Is there a date for when USCIS will reopen for in-person interviews? La pregunta es si hay una fecha definitiva para cuando inmigración va a ser abierto otra vez para entrevistas en persona. So, en ese momento no tenemos una cita específica, pero uno de mis amigos me dijo ese día, un supervisor aquí en Orlando dice que ellos va a reabrir la oficina probablemente en mayo, en el primer parte de mayo, pero todavía ellos van a observar social distancing. So, ellos están tratando de reabrir, con sabiduría, cómo proteja a la gente, especialmente por los casos de ciudadanía. So, personas esperando citas por ciudadanía, ellos van a ser los primeros que reciben noticias, o personas que están esperando la juramento o el juramento. Esas personas van a recibir cartas pronto, probablemente el primer parte de mayo. So the question was, is there a date specific for when immigration is going to reopen for in-person interviews? And the answer is they are really trying to work on that. A friend of mine heard from one of the supervisors in Orlando today that they are trying to work up to get to where we can have in-person interviews again. Of course, they're very careful and they still want to observe social distancing. So my guess is that immigration will reopen probably sometime in early May. We have been told that they will continue to observe social distancing, and the cases that they're going to focus on include citizenship cases. So if you were canceled for a citizenship interview in March or April, you will be one of the first people to get a new interview date, or people that are waiting to be sworn in to become citizens. Those people will also get to do their oath ceremony. So those are the cases that they're going to be focusing on. So probably in the next 2 weeks, you will have information about immigration reopening. As you know, this show is Monday to Friday at 7 p.m. every evening. So as I get this information, I will absolutely share that information with you. Let's see if we have any more questions here. Keep them going. If you are online, please drop a line below and say hello so that I can give you a shout out. Okay, so I have a question here. Someone would like some advice on someone who took federal Medicare while pregnant on a tourist visa and is now married to a military person that wants a petition for her. Would they deny the green card for that? That's an interesting question. That's a great question. So I have not seen people getting denied a green card for this reason. Where I have seen a backlash from immigration is if the person, hey Lima, great to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Hey Miss Vanoria, nice to see you all the way from Jersey. So basically this is a situation, if someone comes here on a tourist visa, they have a child here, and they use Medicare, emergency Medicare to have the baby, the question is, will this affect a future filing for them? So I haven't seen people getting denied for that reason in the United States. Where I have seen denial under these circumstances is if the person only has a tourist visa. So I know several people, personally know several people who came here while they were pregnant and they knew they were close to having the baby or whatnot, and they decided to stay here and have the baby. And when they went to renew their visas, they were denied based on that reason. So it's definitely a catch-22. However, if someone is filing for you, I don't believe that should be a hindrance. Now, you all know that a lot of these public charge rules have changed since February of 2020. So I don't have any feedback because it's still a relatively new process. I don't know how immigration is going to consider that since it's receipt of a public benefit. From my knowledge and all of the continuing education classes I've done on public charge, emergency Medicaid or Medicare is not one of the things that they will use against someone. So I think for the person that asked that question, I don't think you're going to have an issue filing for the spouse. La pregunta es si una persona entra a los Estados Unidos con una visa y ellos dar la luz aquí y recibir Medicaid para tener el bebé aquí, si eso va a perjudicar a la persona en el futuro, si otra persona quiere preguntar a la gente, quiere pedir a la persona. So, en mi experiencia, yo nunca ver eso afectando si la persona casar con ciudadana y después la persona quiere pedir a otra persona. So, en el contexto de residencia, yo no pienso que eso va a ser un problema. También con inmigración, ellos dicen específicamente que Medicaid, por una emergencia como dando la luz, no va a perjudicar en el futuro. Donde yo ver personalmente con personas que son conocidos que tienen problemas es cuando solamente tiene una visa, entre aquí en los Estados Unidos y dar la luz y recibe Medicaid. Cuando es tiempo para renovar el permiso, eso es cuando ellos van a negar. So, ellos no van a negar aquí por residencia, pero en el consulado para renovar la visa, eso es cuando va a tener problemas posiblemente. Hello, Miss Avril. Hey, Miss Lisa, great to see you. That you will definitely probably need to make a consultation for that. Someone is doing citizenship and got an additional letter for evidence. Sometimes immigration does want additional evidence, so that's not something too far out. I did see another question here, but it looks like it disappeared. The question is, how long is it taking for a fiancé visa? Is that the question? For some reason,
yes.
That question has disappeared. So that's a great question. What if you're like Stella, you go to a beautiful island like Jamaica, which in my personal opinion is probably the most beautiful island in the Caribbean. I'm a little bit biased. But what if you go to Jamaica, you know, you meet this great lifeguard or bartender, you know, really hot guy, and you decide, wow, this is the guy for me. You're like Stella, you got your groove back, and you would like to bring your groove back to the United States. Well, at the Bennett Law Center, we can absolutely help you with a fiancé visa. If you're a United States citizen, the process is relatively simple. It's a two-step process. So the first part of the process is actually applying with USCIS here in the United States for the fiancé visa. In our experience, that can take about 4 to 6 months on average. Once USCIS has approved the fiancé visa, it actually sends the approved visa to the consulate in the person's home country. So that's the second step, where the person has to go in to present themselves and go for an immigration interview. So the fiancé visa process, I would say usually about around 8 months is a good average. It could take a little bit less, it could take a little bit more. But that's definitely one of my favorite types of cases. And we do lots of fiancé visas. En español, la pregunta es si tiene un amante en otro país, si tiene planes a casar, si cómo puede traiga la persona aquí en los Estados Unidos con una visa de fiancé. So, el proceso más o menos tarda 6 a 8 a 10 meses. So, no es un proceso tan largo, pero lo que es importante es entiende que hay dos partes del proceso. El primer parte es aquí en los Estados Unidos y ellos están buscando si cualifica, sí o no, por la visa de fiancé. Si cualifica y el caso está aprobado, entonces ellos van a mandar la aprobación al consulado en el país de la persona. Y la persona va a tener una cita directamente con inmigración. Cuando tiene esa cita, ellos van a dar la visa y puede entrar a los Estados Unidos. So it is true, like you see on that show, 90 Day Fiancé, and I do have to confess, it is a guilty pleasure. For some reason, I really, really like that show. It's crazy, but I like it. I don't think they really do a good job on showing the realities of the fiancé visa, but I do like that show. Unas de los shows que yo me gusta es 90 Day Fiancé. So si está interesado en ese tipo de visa, eso es un reality show que me gusta mucho. So there is a 90-day period. Once you come to the United States, there is a 90-day period where you are required to get married to your fiance. If someone comes to the United States on a fiance to marry one person, and within the 90 days, it does not work out, they must leave the country. They will not be allowed to change their status and find some other boo here in the United States and get married to a different person. So the fiancé visa is attached to a specific person. If you do not marry that person, you have to leave the United States. You cannot marry someone else and get a green card here. Lo que estoy diciendo es que si entre los Estados Unidos con un visa de fiancé, hay un requisito que tiene que casar entre 90 días. Si la relación no funciona bien y la persona dice que no quiere casar, entonces esa persona tiene que regresar a su país, ¿ok? Ellos no pueden obtener, casar con otra persona aquí en los Estados Unidos. So, el fiancé visa es específicamente a una persona. Si no casar con esa persona, tiene que salir del país y no puede arreglar por otra persona. La única excepción es si usted es víctima de violencia doméstica. So, the only exception to that rule is if you are a victim of domestic violence. So let's say you come here, and I've had situations like this. You come to the United States on a fiancé visa, and it turns out that the love of your life is a jerk, and they are very abusive. In that case, you do not have to leave the United States, and you can apply based on the Violence Against Women Act or men. So that's an option that you have within that process. Hi, Sophia. It's my sister from Jamaica. She wants me to translate my Spanish into patois. Any other questions? Did I miss anything that came in while I was talking? For some reason, I still can't see all of the comments. That's the only drawback when I do the live through my cell phone, but I like the quality of the videos better through my cell phone. So since I don't have any other immediate questions, let me talk about some of the things that I've been coming across lately. We've already talked about the fact that immigration, they're probably going to reopen early part of May. One other thing that, some information that we've gotten through Jacksonville ICE officials. So remember, there are people that are required to report to ICE every month, every 3 months, every 6 months, and so forth. For these people, because ICE right now is at this point, They are closed for in-person in-person interviews or reporting dates as well. No one can go inside of the ICE office. So as I shared earlier this week, they're requiring people to call before their interviews to see if they can just get a new interview date over the phone. This is very important. So what ICE is saying is they're trying to help people. So if the person has a report date within the next 30 days, they are trying to call these people ahead of time, and people are not answering their phones. This is directly from a supervisor in ICE. So ICE is actually, for once, trying to work with people and trying to keep people safe, but no one's answering the phone to get a change of date. So if you know someone that's reporting to ICE, they may see a call from a funny number that has like 000. That's probably a call from immigration. Okay, so if you know someone, please tell them that they really need to try to either call ICE or listen out for a call from ICE so that they can get rescheduled over the phone. The most important thing is that they do not miss this date. They need to have contact with ICE, because I promise you, ICE is still working, and if you don't show up or have a new date, you will be considered a fugitive, and they will come looking for you. So this is very, very important. En español estoy diciendo que hay mucha gente que tiene que reportar con ICE cada mes, cada 3 meses, cada 6 meses, cualquier cosa. So necesita comunicar con ICE para obtener diferentes citas, porque ellos están cerrados al público. So, antes, durante otro show, yo estaba diciendo que tiene que llamar a ICE y yo dar los números de las oficinas en Orlando, Tampa y Jacksonville. Pero ICE, el supervisor en Jacksonville, está diciendo que ellos están tratando de ayudar a la gente y dar otra cita por teléfono, pero la gente no está answering sus teléfonos. Ok, so si usted ve un número 000, probablemente es ICE o inmigración. Ellos están tratando de contactarte para cambiar sus citas o no tiene que presentar. So eso es muy, muy importante para que usted mantener comunicación con ICE, porque si no presenta, no tiene ninguna comunicación, usted es como fugitivo. Y si usted es fugitivo, ellos van a buscar. So, eso es muy importante, y por favor diga a su familia, sus amigos, sus vecinos y toda la gente. I have another question here. Does the USCIS accept packages via mail? Yes, so immigration, they're open and they are working. So they are accepting packages via mail. We have sent out lots of work during this time, even though we are working remotely from our office. So absolutely, you can send out your packages if that's what you desire to do. The second half of that question is talking about a letter required from Medicare as evidence to support self-sufficiency. If you took Medicaid, this really is a very complicated question, so I'm not really going to get into that, because this new I-944 form, it's very, very in-depth, and without knowing greater information about the situation, I'm very hesitant to provide general advice on that specific question. Hi, Miss Marina. Hey, Kristen. Hey, boo. So, en español estoy diciendo, la pregunta es si inmigración está aceptando paquetes por correo, y la respuesta es sí. Ellos todavía están abiertos y trabajando en sus casos. En mi oficina mandamos mucho paquetes. Y yo pienso que ahora es buen tiempo para mandar su solicitud, porque hay mucha gente diciendo que, ok, no voy a esperar hasta que pasa el virus. So, todo está un poquito más lento en inmigración. So, ellos tienen tiempo para procesar los casos más rápidos. So, en mi opinión, ahora es buen tiempo para mandar sus paquetes. So I was just adding to what I said before. I think it's a great time to send off your immigration case. A lot of people are like, well, let's see when this coronavirus thing passes. Well, immigration's still open. They are still having a lot of capacity for work. A lot of the officers that used to do in-person interviews, they don't really have a whole lot to do. So they do have more opportunity to work on cases. So we are sending out as many cases as possible during this time. Melanie has a question. ¿Cuánto tiempo aproximadamente se tarda una cita para el perdón? Someone wants to know approximately how long does it take for a person to get an interview for a waiver? It kind of depends. So from the United States side that does the waiver cases are taking about, if we have cooperation, because waivers require a lot of evidence. So we are very dependent on our clients to provide us with the required information. If we do get that information, we're able to get a waiver application in about a year and a half, a year, 18 months. From that point, we still have to wait until we get an interview in the person's home country. Right now, I could tell you we are waiting a year and a half or more, particularly in Mexico, Ciudad Juarez, to get an interview date. I was very blessed to be part of 14 or 15 attorneys that went to Ciudad Juarez to meet with the officials there back in February. And they are really, really behind. They have lost 10% of their officers and they have not recovered. So before they could do 400 interviews in one day. Right now, before they could do 800 interviews in one day. Now they can only do 400. So that's why we have a tremendous backlog in Ciudad Juarez, which is the vast majority of our waiver clients at the Bennett Law Center. So even if you get a waiver approved, you still are looking at a good year and a half to 2 years before being able to go for your interview and come back with a green card. La pregunta es aproximadamente ¿cuánto tiempo se tarda una cita por el perdón? La respuesta depende. So, por ejemplo, aquí en los Estados Unidos, el parte del proceso es probablemente un año y medio. Depende de cómo rápido los clientes darnos los papeles que son requisitos por el perdón, pero normalmente un año y medio para una aprobación. Después de una aprobación del perdón, todavía todo depende del consulado en el país de la persona. So, específicamente en Ciudad Juárez, en México, ellos están muy atrasados. En el pasado, ellos podrían hacer como 800 casos en un día. Ahora, ellos solamente tienen capacidad para hacer como 400 entrevistas cada día. So, ellos están muy atrasados. So, aunque quizás tiene un perdón aprobado, si está esperando México, probablemente un año y medio o más cerca de 2 años, porque ellos están muy atrasados. Someone says, we've been waiting since August 2018 for our interview, so hopefully soon now. Yeah, so like I said, this is not a big surprise. It's just taking almost 2 years, and that's so unfortunate. I do hope that with the approved waiver here in Florida, you are able to get a driver license. So that is something very important that I hope you understand. So while you're waiting, your spouse can actually use the waiver approval to get a driver license. So, una persona dice que ellos están esperando desde agosto de 2018 por una cita en Ciudad Juárez. So, exactamente como estoy diciendo que ellos están esperando casi 2 años. So esperamos que vamos a tener citas más rápido. También con el coronavirus, probablemente hay más tiempo que tenemos que esperar. Someone says, Miss Sheila says, Attorney Rachel has been amazing on this journey. Absolutely. Attorney Rachel is a rock star. Thank you so much for that compliment. Hey, Stephanie. This is my host sister from my high school days. Her parents took such good care of me during high school. I love you guys, the Barbie Bunch. Here's another question. If a person has a criminal charge and has an order of deportation, what chances does this person have to not be deported? Okay. That is kind of a very, very general question. And I need a whole lot more of facts. So for a question like this, a consultation would probably be a good idea. But I have to say, just because a person has a criminal conviction or an order of deportation doesn't mean that it's a lost cause and there's nothing else that the person can do. They just need to curl up and go back to their country. At the Bennett Law Center, we have done such a great job reopening cases with judges. We have done a great job doing 212 waivers, which waives the deportation order. So we're really on the cutting edge of basically trying to see how we can reopen cases. We can't do that for every person that comes into my office, but for the ones that have an opportunity, we certainly can. But the law is very, very specific. So I can't give like a full answer unless I have more. But just because someone has a deportation order absolutely does not mean that they will never be able to get a green card. For some people, yes. But for others, there might be sections of the law that would allow them to still get their green cards. En español, una persona está preguntando si una persona tiene cargos criminales o tiene orden de deportación, si es imposible para obtener residencia. Y mi respuesta es que yo necesito mucho más detalles de una pregunta así, porque la ley es muy específico. Pero lo que es importante es que yo quiero que ustedes entiendan que simplemente porque una persona tiene un cargo criminal o un orden de deportación no significa que todo está perdido y nunca puede arreglar. Gracias a Dios, en mi oficina tenemos buena suerte con reabrir el caso con los jueces o otro tipo de perdón, un perdón del orden de deportación. So hay muchas circunstancias donde podemos reabrir el orden de deportación. So, no es imposible para obtener un permiso o residencia si tiene orden de deportación, pero necesita más detalles por eso. Any other questions? Did I miss anything, guys? Okay, one thing that I promised to talk about tonight is how do you is it possible to get your immigration history? And the answer is yes. So there's a process called FOIA where we can petition the different agencies to provide us with copies of your immigration records. A lot of times we get people that have worked with previous attorneys or notarios and they don't remember what they signed. They don't remember what they put on the form. They don't know if when they tried to cross the border, if they got deported at the border. They just don't know. So the answer is yes. We can absolutely obtain your immigration records so that before we start a case, we can have the information that we need so that there are no surprises at the end. So we do a lot of those in our office, particularly for people that cross the border and they don't remember exactly what happened at the border. And what happened at the border can really make a big difference in a case. So for the most part, we do a lot of FOIAs. We do the fingerprints in-house. We never send our clients to the police station. That is not a good idea to send an undocumented person to the police station. So we do fingerprints in-house and we are able to get those records. En español, algunas personas quizás está quiere saber si puede obtener los records de inmigración y la respuesta es sí. Hay varios lugares que en inmigración donde podemos pedir los records. So, en mi oficina podemos obtener follas de la frontera, de inmigración, de la corte y cosas así. So, definitivamente es posible y yo prefiero saber lo más posible de la historia de una persona antes de yo tomar un caso, porque yo no me gusta sorpresas en el mundo de inmigración. Ok, so el proceso de obtener su documentos de inmigración que fue en el pasado es una buena idea. Muchos de los clientes que yo tengo tenía otro abogado antes, tenía notarios y ellos, puede mandar cosas solo y no recuerda qué pone en su solicitud. Ellos no saben, no sabe si tiene orden de deportación. Ellos no saben. So, es buena idea antes de comenzar un caso para obtener sus records de inmigración. Okay, I am going to take one more question because we are out of time. You guys are so... You guys have some great questions. So I see another person says, oh, wow, I've seen someone's been waiting for an interview since 2018. Yes, that's true. So the last question I have here, if you need to replace your green card, how long does it take to get it back to the green card holder? La pregunta es, ¿cuánto tiempo tarda para obtener su tarjeta verde si, por ejemplo, si está perdido? Eso es una mala respuesta porque algunas veces estamos esperando como un año o más. Es ridículo. Es absolutamente ridículo. So, yo tengo clientes que están esperando más de un año. En el otro mano, yo tengo personas que reciben en 3 meses. No tengo una respuesta claro. Es simplemente loco. No entiendo por qué tardar tanto tiempo. So, mi respuesta es depende. Sometimes es muy rápido y algunas veces muy, muy lente. So the person's asking how long does it take to replace the green card if it's lost. It's crazy. We've had people in our office wait over a year to get the new card, and we've had people that get it in 3 months. There is no rhyme or reason. I have absolutely no explanation as to why it takes so long to replace a green card. So my suggestion is don't lose your green card. Okay, I know people who just keep copies of the green card and they keep the actual green card in a safety deposit box in their homes or at their bank. So try not to lose your green card if that is at all possible. Hey, Ellie. Okay, so this question is all the way from New Jersey, so I'm going to take it. Hey, Esther. All the way from Maryland, another amazing immigration attorney. Good to see you. Okay, so Ellie is asking, what if you're married but you want to file independently? Where did the question go? It disappeared. Hey, Dane. That's my cousin Boo right there. Let me see if I can see it on this cell phone here. I'm sorry, I lost that question. Okay, here's the question. What if you're married but want to file independently? Would that affect your USCIS interview? Okay. So, if you are married, then immigration is going to expect that your case is based on your marriage. So, if you are separated from your spouse, if you're gonna be getting a divorce, things aren't working out, they don't want to go to the interview, that will significantly impact your chances of getting your green card. So filing independently is only an option if you are a victim of domestic violence, whether that's physical violence, emotional, mental, or psychological. Okay. I am actually I'll do it tomorrow. Nah, I don't know if I'm going to do it tomorrow, but that's kind of a depressing topic to do during happy hour on a Friday. So tomorrow, maybe I'll talk about things that are happy in immigration. And then next week, perhaps on Monday, I'll jump into what options do victims of domestic violence have, particularly now that a lot of people are stuck at home with the abusers. What immigration options are there? But for this particular question, if you're filing a joint petition through your spouse, you really have to be together for the green card to be granted. If you want to file independently, the only option that you have generally in a marriage situation is VAWA, Violence Against Women Act. Arthur Jeffries, by the way, I'm Shani's cousin from Boston. Hey, Honduras in the house. Muy rápido en español, la pregunta es si está casado y está preguntando, la persona quiere entender si está casado y tiene problemas con el matrimonio, si puede afectar el caso con la entrevista. Y mi respuesta es sí, porque el caso es por el matrimonio. So, si está separado, va a ser divorciado o tiene problemas, entonces probablemente inmigración va a negar el caso porque es por matrimonio. La única excepción es si usted es víctima de violencia doméstica. Violencia doméstica no es simplemente físicamente, es emocionalmente, es mentalmente, psicológicamente. So, en un caso donde hay un matrimonio y el esposo está pidiendo y hay violencia doméstica, entonces puede pedir solo. Pero aparte de eso, no hay una manera para arreglar si es basado en un matrimonio. So that's all for today, guys. I thank you so very much for tuning in to the Immigrants Bridge Show. I'm so happy to see so many people curious about immigration and how immigration is going on, especially during these crazy times. I really love connecting with everyone online. This is really cool. I'm glad that coronavirus has forced me to come to you in this medium. I'm kind of enjoying it. So thank you for joining in. Again, this show is live at 7 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday, right here on Facebook Live on the Bennett Law Center page. So please share this information. Let people know that there is someone out there that can answer general immigration questions. And we will see you tomorrow. One of my staff, if you can drop our office telephone number in case people have specific questions and would like to make a consultation, members of our team will be dropping those numbers in the comment field. En español, gracias para pasar ese tiempo conmigo, con ese show. Es una bendición que yo puedo verte, tengo tiempo contigo. Eso es una de las buenas cosas del coronavirus, es porque yo tengo que cambiar cómo yo hace las cosas. So, eso es nuevo por mí, pero me gusta porque yo puedo conectar con la gente, dar información que puede beneficiar la comunidad. So, gracias para quedar ese tiempo conmigo. Recuerda, like our Facebook page y share esa información con sus familiares, sus amigos, sus vecinos. Eso es una bendición por nosotros. Gracias y nos vemos mañana. So mañana es Friday, es viernes, right? So si no está manejando, yo quiero que usted traiga un drink, ¿ok? So vamos a tener... Si usted conoce a mí, mi favorito drink es tequila. So, yo voy a tener tequila mañana. So, mañana es un, Immigration Bridge happy hour. So, espero que nos vemos mañana. So, I was just telling people in Spanish that tomorrow I'm just making this up as I go along. Tomorrow, since it's Friday, I'm not going to talk about anything too depressing, but I'm still going to answer questions and give immigration. But because it's going to be happy hour time, I would like for you to bring your favorite drink, okay? So if you know me, I'm kind of half Jamaican, half American, half Mexican. So I really love tequila. So I will definitely have a shot of tequila that I will take at the end of the show. And I would like for you to join me tomorrow and we'll have a shot together, okay? So of course, you should not be driving after you do that. Let me just put that out there. So I will see you all tomorrow. Love you all and thank you for joining in. If you have not yet liked our Facebook page, go ahead and like our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. And of course, please share this show with other people that you think it might be beneficial to them. Thank you so much and toodaloo. I think, let's see. Now we're trying to figure out how to, oh, here it is.